recently found out that a lot of people don't yet understand what Attive is, and it hurt a lot because it's from people that are very close to me. So I decided to do a quick demo that hopefully will show once for all what Attive is all about. When you land in Attive, you might look and say, well, that's a very known UI that you have there. Is that like ChatGPT? That's a fair thought, but it's not really, because a lot of the AI chats out there, they don't think of data first, right? You start chatting with the AI, eventually you think like, oh, I need this data or I need that, and then you bring those through MCPs or integrations, depending on how the application works. But essentially, you connect the API of those different integrations into your chat. With Attive, we kind of flip that around. That you can see here on sources on this part below, where you have the integrations, and you can just, with a click, connect, go through the OAuth flow and bring your CRM, Slack, Kong, all into the platform of Attive. Once you have connected that, then you just need to configure your graph, and essentially the graph will join all that data into a graph database. So we're not doing any API requests to those services. We're literally extracting all the data from those systems and creating a graph database that follows exactly the structure you've defined here. And the difference is that whenever you go into the chat and you want to ask questions, it's actually really fast and very accurate, right? So if I say chart lost deals per month for all the history, then you see what's happening here is that we are actually querying a database, right? And therefore the results and the way that you're querying, it's very inspectable. All right, here I have a graph, and if I want to understand how that data came to be, I can just click here, and then I get this beautiful table, and I'm also going to get an AI explanation of how that data was queried, right? So every answer you get in Attive, it's auditable because of that. And that also means that like the data connections you've set here, they're going to become available for your whole organization and for all the users that come here. So you have data governance in one place, integrations in one place. You decide which fields you want to expose to the AI, which fields you don't. And that whole thing becomes exposed to your whole organization. And it's really fast and very accurate. Now, what else can you do with that? Well, besides the chat, which is already like very powerful, you can configure different agents that you can use in the chat. And agents essentially will have its own sort of personality and also speciality. So let's say I go to a demo specialist, and I can just run one of the prompts that are associated with that agent, and it will just give me the output fairly consistent, right? So this is really good, like for you to set up your workspace once, create the multiple applications, and then let your colleagues to use the workspace that you already put on work configure, and they can just come in and out and get what they need out of Attive. We don't stop there. That's the whole point about the chat and how things are configured. You can also use in Slack, just invoke Attive via Slack, and then you have the same experience. The other part is automations. And automations use the same primitives that we have built around data and Attive, but now focused on actually have more deterministic runs to essentially create workflows and automate tasks for you. So in this case here, I'm creating close lost report. So every time an opportunity is lost, we detect that through a trigger as we are syncing your data. And in this case, we trigger this automation, which will fetch the information about the calls we had with that prospect, and then eventually send a close loss report through Slack. You can test the automation, modify. You don't need to configure. You can just ask the agent to create the automation for you. So I can just come here and say, make this Slack message shorter. And then the agent will read the workflow, will get your work, and will update the workflow for you. See here, then the agent has read the workflow and has updated. Now I can just test this automation again. And I can just, I just test the automation again. And now we can see if we got a shorter output because the agent has changed it for us. Yep, much shorter than before, right? So the agent just do the automation for you, and you just need to test and make sure that it's as you like. And you can obviously track the automation, the different runs that you had over time, if they're failed or not. So very easy to manage those automations. And then finally, you have the concept of boards. This is where you can essentially save outputs you got from the chat that you like. And you can also create dashboards from the graphs that you get from the chat. And those graphs will be live because they have a query from your database backing it up. So it's a really great way to actually like work in a project on a report, just capture a bunch of data, put it together, and then just present to your team. Yeah, I think that's Attive in a nutshell. There's a lot more underneath it, but quick recap: data first, integrations, data graph. It's where you configure how your different systems relate to each other. Kong, Salesforce, Slack, they can all combine into one unified data layer that's available to your whole team. And then on top of that, we have the whole applications of chat, automations, boards, and a couple more things that I don't have time to show now. That's it, Attive in a nutshell.